Guten Tag, and thank you for the chance to talk about radio now and indeed radio in the future. When you do know a listener's habits, behaviours, when you know their likes and dislikes, then you can do so much more than just broadcast to them, although broadcasting, of course, will continue to be a very important part of what we do. What we can become is a medium that helps people live their lives. Let me give you an example of how radio needs to be brave. We already know that the apps that radio stations produce are popular. People use them to stream the radio stations wherever they are, sometimes where they haven't got access to a radio. They also use the app sometimes to find out about who's on next or to listen to a show that they missed first time around. But when we know somebody's IP address, when we know their identity, when we know their preferences, when we know their location, we can go much further than that. But not only do radio stations need to be brave, but advertisers need to be brave too, and not think of radio in terms of old media. They need to think about radio in terms of relevant, immediate media for today and for tomorrow. So radio will talk about entertainment, they'll talk about music, they'll talk about sport, they'll talk about cinema. For a listener, equally it's important when you talk to me in a meaningful way about shops, about restaurants, about offers. And I think there's a perfect combination. A trusted medium like radio can recommend things and we can tell you about things. Then when you're close to where you can have access to those things, whether it's a restaurant or a special offer or a shop or a garden centre or anything else, we can also give you a reminder. Say, hey, don't forget, you know you like flowers, you know you like gardening, well the garden centre's just 5 minutes away. Oh, and by the way, if you go in the next half hour or the next hour, you can also have a 10% off voucher. So I think the future for radio, combined with things like geotagging, things like IP address information, is incredibly exciting. Radio is already trusted. In the UK, for example, it's still listened to by over 90% of the population every week. It's still a massively powerful mainstream medium, and it has the potential to be so much more. So radio stations, I encourage you to be brave. Advertisers, I encourage you to be brave too, and think about radio not just as old media, but also new media and future media.